Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to Algodo tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan. And You're like a lemming, you know that? Whatever I choose to do, you will try to do in likeness. Awesome. Welcome, guys.
To the best of my ability.
Yeah. Indeed. Welcome, guys, to episode 118 of the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. It's the new year. It's 2022. This is the first episode of 2022. All right. Mm-hmm. It's January 2nd, which means January 1st plus a day. So we are already on our way to the end of 2022. We have like a lot of days left, but we're getting there. Like one day closer than we were yesterday. So. Happy New Year to you guys. Hopefully you had a good holidays. If you had a good holidays, awesome. I hope you got all the gifts that you wanted and celebrated all the things you wanted to celebrate and just really had a chance to take a break, take a week off, take a few days off, just kind of enjoy life for a couple of minutes, because life's hard, man. Life's hard, It's just, like, life is not that great, man. So it's good to get a few days where you just can, chill, I actually missed Christmas because I was sick all the way through Christmas, so we didn't celebrate until the 28th. We did the whole Christmas thing. Wow. We had ribs this year, and we usually do turkey, but we do let's do something different. The ribs were good. They were a change. We all bake something. I always bake a pie and a key lime. I always love key lime pie and apple pie. So we had a whole thing going on. I got a new chair, which is identical to my old chair, as you can see. Well, you can't see in the camera because we don't do the camera for the intro. But it's just the same chair, but newer, so it's not it doesn't move around as much. It's a little better. Got some AirPods, so I'm one of those guys now. Finally came around on the AirPods thing because I was just like, I should just get them, right? And I have them now, so. Yeah, I'm that douchebag now. I'm an AirPods douchebag. I'm sorry to those people who stay outside the mainstream, even more so than me, which is hard to do. But yeah, I have turned over. In that regard, at least. We got a lot of marbles to talk about, and I'm very hopeful for the new year. And one of the segments we're going to do today in the bulk of the episode is really talk about what we want to see in this new year. We have a whole year. We have a full year of marbles to roll here. 364 nowadays, 3 even almost, of marbles. And so there's a lot that can happen, and we definitely want to speculate and put our wish list out there of what we want to see, because this community needs to keep progressing so it doesn't stagnate and die. Right?
Right. I get you.
Yeah. On a side note, also Wendy's came out with new fries 3 weeks ago, and I was like, you know what, I'll try them out because why not? I hate Wendy's. I really don't like Wendy's because Wendy's sucks. But I tried the new fries and I was like, you know what, I'd actually eat these. So I'd recommend them. They're good. They're actually solid fries. I don't know what they did differently because I actually don't remember old Wendy's fries at all because, ew, Wendy's. But the new fries are good. So little side tip there, little did you know fast food from Marble Guy. I recommend them. So I know people wanted to know about that, right?
Totally, very much so. Mm-hmm.
All right. So another reminder: mswpodcast@gmail.com. Come on, guys, it's 2022. Okay, MSW. I'm gonna say this very slowly. MSW. podcast@gmail.com. Please email us. We like it when you guys type in, because then we get to read the things you're thinking in your head on the show and talk about them, and then we get to engage with your brain. So do that, and we can experience that. So You can say anything. Marbles is a great topic you can talk about because this is a Marble podcast, but you can say anything you want. Like when Alex wrote in about whatever he wrote in about last week. I'll let you go listen to that. That's fine. We want to engage with you guys. We promise we will engage with you unless you write in saying like, oh, I murdered 5 people. We probably won't read that one because I feel like that's the kind of information
That'll go to the police.
You should keep to yourself as long as you can, if you know what I'm saying. Hey! Come on.
My word.
Yeah.
Oh, starting the year off strong here, I see.
Yeah, yeah, but listen, I have a lot of energy today. There's a lot of excitement for the new year. I've rambled quite a while, but yeah, Waff, if you don't have anything, I'll bring us to the news. Do you have anything?
Not much, just like life's been good, got cool gifts. I got this wooden marble machine that I made. I'm sending you 2 links from episodes if you want to check it out, but like my phone's been having issues sending videos, so you might not get it. We'll see. If it does, it's cool. If not, oh well. Oh, it's sending. Hey, look at that. That's nice. There we go. Now it's in links from episodes.
I'm gonna check this out.
So it's marble related. It fits the theme.
So this is very cool. This was like laser cut wood. Oh, you guys! If you guys haven't joined the Discord, do so, and then you go to the links from episodes and you can check this out. This looks beautiful. This is like the kind of laser cut wood they use in those like expensive puzzles. You know what I'm saying? They're very nice. And like it was time consuming, but it was did you
fun
build
making
this?
it. I had to make it. It was in the sheets, so like wood, so you had to like pop them out. Sometimes you had to sand them down.
Oh, that's cool.
Insert them, yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful, Waff. Very nice. Dude, this is the kind of thing, or like maybe like something half the size, that like if I ever like have an office where like I'm a manager of like whatever, if you ever put me as a manager in some shit, I don't know what you're thinking. But if I ever get there, I would have like something like half this size and like on my office table to just like fidget with, and like when people walk in, they're like, "Oh my god, what's that?" Like I don't know why I use that voice, but that's how I imagine it, I guess. So like I don't know, it's just like something nice on my desk, along with like the Newton's Cradle or something like that. That's very cool, Waff. That's very cool.
Yeah, I thought you guys would enjoy that, but yeah, that's really all I have. There's not much too much to discuss in my life, so. Let's just get on over to the news, I say. Yeah,
and I guess it's you now still doing the news, right? Because we don't have a news.
Still me, yeah. We still don't know where Johnny went. So,
PSA, if you want to do the news for us, Johnny is by the way, this is a trend now. This is a trend in people who've worked with us. Everybody who's worked for us, Johnny, JM, and the guy John Wood, who did one episode. Dude, every time that they like decided that they wanted to stop doing this volunteer work, basically, because we're not paying them, we're not that big yet, they literally it just disappear. They don't say anything. That's not true. For JM disappeared first, and then he said something. That's what happened.
Yes, that is true.
They just disappear.
At least he actually came back.
I don't. Okay, I give him that, but I don't understand it, because it's like, you can just say something. Like, you can just say, hey, like, I just don't want to fucking do this anymore. You know? Yeah. But, you know, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's like taking time out of your life for something that you're not really getting paid for. But we love Johnny Marble. Right. Maybe he'll resurface at one point. But in the meantime, hey, if you think that you would enjoy doing the news, it's a small segment. It's really easy. You take 3 seconds to record it. Hey, join the Discord, DM us, contact us, email us, whatever, and we can talk about that. We love the news segment, but I think it works a lot better when it's not one of us doing it. Especially me, since I fill so much of the other air on the show. So yeah. But without further ado, Waff's doing the news. We love Waff. Okay, good. So let's go to the news.
Hello, Marble Sports fans! I'm Commander Wolf here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. The news is pretty short today, so let's enjoy it while we can. Race 1 of NASMARB Season 2, the Spiral 360, took place at the Spiral Speedway and was a truly classic race, filled with close calls and tight racing. The most surprising performances came from Neptune and Piper as they dominated the track. Piper is especially surprising as they are the only rookie racing in this season. Unfortunately for me, Spitzer didn't do so hot and finished in 17th. So sad. But there's always next race. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Quillo Racing from MSW, who managed to place 4th after a close battle with Piper after the track snapped off and flipped Piper over. The final race was very heated, but while Lamone Drizel was trying to hold back Piper, Neptune was able to zoom on by and finish in 1st, leaving Drizel with 2nd and Piper with 3rd. NASMARB has made a very strong return and things are just getting started, so you better make sure to catch the races to come. Well, that was the news. I told you it was short, but I'm glad you stuck with me. I'm Commander Wolf. You are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with the podcast.
All right, welcome back from the news. Thank you, Off, for doing the news. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Good man. And now you get see all these different sides of Waff. He's like an overbearing polygon. You got the news, you got Waff in the intro, then you get hit with Waff in the bulk of the episode, then you got him with his marble machine, you got him with the Waff tunes, you got him with the new outfits. I mean, God, it never ends. It never ends with this guy.
Wait, an overbearing polygon?
Write that down. I like that. I just made that shit up. So write that down. In a good way.
Wolf is like, all right.
Welcome to the show, guys. As I already welcomed you in the intro, but welcome again to this part. We're going to start with some emails. We have a win email from Adu, so let's just jump into that. And I always love Adu, so this is going to be a good one. Okay, here we go. So, remember, you can email in mswpodcast@gmail.com. I don't know how many times I have to say it. A lot of people listen to the show every week, and little to none of them email in. And I, even just email in, anything. I literally just like engaging with the people who listen. Because, this show has been going on longer than, it's been going on a long time. So there's people who've been listening for longer than I feel like I've even been doing the show, who still haven't I've never heard from before. So anyway, that should be your New Year's resolution. Dedicate to emailing into the show at least once in this next year. Here we go. Adu, already fulfilling this resolution. New year, looking for the future is the subject. Adu, here we go. 2021 was challenging. After the big boom in the previous year, marble sports fell out of fashion and trended downwards. Despite the problems, we are able to find excitement and create great memories thanks to this awesome community who stuck together even through turbulence. For 2022, I hope to see the hobby back to a growth path, attracting new people with fresh ideas, adding creativity to make us stronger, because there's still a lot to discover and the evolution can't stop. I would tend to agree. This does kind of tie in with the first topic I want to discuss, which is kind of like a hopes and dreams and wish list for the coming year of marble sports. And you do have a fair point. Marble sports, it's kind of like fell out of fashion by default just because it got so much attention. It reached this unreal peak, this unreal growth in 2020, right? So it really rose to a place that it was not really supposed to raise to if it wasn't for the very specific circumstances. So it kind of wasn't ready for that. And so it fell out of fashion, as we might say, because it went from that back to where it was before. After the excitement wore off and people were like, I want to get back to watching actual sports, which I think marble was actual sport, but come on. Football, people want to watch that shit. So, I mean, people getting back to that when that started coming back from COVID, actual racing, things like that. And so a lot of people kind of just transitioned back and just saw marble sports as oh, this was a cool kind of thing for a minute. And then it still just left the remaining fans. Plus a small decrease, of course, because there was some drama in the community regarding some certain members. But it wasn't ready. It wasn't ready for the rapid growth. It wasn't ready to take things to a level that turns marble sports into a singular kind of YouTube thing, to something that's really present. It's not there yet. It really is not there yet. It really is still a single channel effort. If I'm honest, you have other creators. You have, of course, the beautiful Hershey. You have the Racing Marble League, who make great content. But that content is not yet acknowledged by hundreds of thousands of people. Not like JMR. And JMR is the only content that's consistently acknowledged and has like a lore to be acknowledged by that many people. And it's still kind of just holding on as like a single channel. So, I don't know, did that Marble Sports growth where it really becomes a very solid part, it goes from like a single channel thing to like a very, very large, almost its own big genre on YouTube is acknowledged by the world. It's not quite there yet. But we're still going. And again, we're only like 6 years into Marble Sports being a thing. So we have a lot of time.
Yeah, that's true. And like, that's just kind of the name of the game. I mean, one positive of things that are going on right now is that maybe like if more quarantine happens, that might help boost Marble channels again.
Don't say
which
that.
Which is like the only positive thing I can think of.
More quarantine would be bad for the world.
Yes, it would. Well, it depends on how. Like, it could be good for the world depending on how bad it is. But like, it's gonna be like I don't want to do quarantine either. But like that's just how it is. Like, man, this year I really hope it's better than. Was 2021 better than 2020? By the way, I think it was.
Well, I mean, there's also and this is some real kind of real world update here, but apparently the new variant of COVID is a lot weaker than the old variants, which means that it's becoming it's becoming a lot more of like a cold than it was before. Like before, Delta and the previous one were actually killing the hosts. And then usually a virus progression, and this is holding true for COVID, a virus will be that strong and then actually become weaker because the viruses doesn't succeed by killing all their hosts, and they can't host that dead body anymore. So right. it kind of, the goal of a virus is to be able to like stay within a live host. So they want to create something a little bit, so that's why the new variants are actually weaker, because they're actually stronger for the virus to be that way, to be able to hang around. So that weaker but very, very contagious new variant means that even among all the quarantine we're doing, everybody's going to get the thing. Everybody's going to realize, oh, wow, this is weak. This is more like a cold now. And everybody's going to move on. Hopefully. That's what I'm hoping. That's my wish list for 2022.
Yeah, I had heard that like apparently it doesn't actually attack the lungs as much, if not at all. So it's definitely... Yeah. It seems like it's not as dangerous, though. Like, we are not medical professionals, so definitely actually do your research. Don't take our word for it. We are marble connoisseurs, not doctors.
No, yeah, and like that's just what we hear. I'm not too over-informed when it comes to news usually, so you can't take my word for most things. But hey, we'll spread some information if we happen to know it. But again, that brings us to our first question here. So, what do we want to see this year? Anything Marble Sports related. What do we want to see? What progression do we want to see in the community? What progression do we want to see in certain channels? What new innovations might we be curious about? What do we want to see? So I'll actually turn over to Waf here. I always like to let Waf go at it. So Waf, why don't you tell us? Do you have any thoughts on this particular question?
What I would really love to see, I think, is maybe more channels like stepping up and taking that next step into, I guess, becoming like a next level channel, like kind of like where it's either like high quality or like really innovative, because it's a public announcement now basically, but MSPN is actually going to be inactive for the foreseeable future after the end of NASMARB Season 2, just because Hershey is getting a job, like his dream job essentially, and so that's going to take up all of his time. And so like a channel that innovates like MSPN isn't going to be around either for a few years, if like just done completely. So like we need people who are actually willing to push that envelope, just like MSPN was, or yeah, and it still is for now.
Yeah, no,
that's kind of what I'm looking for.
I agree. And first of all, it's a shame that MSPN will come to an end for a while. But congratulations, of course, to Hershey on getting his dream job. I mean, getting a dream job is just... It just doesn't happen very often for most people. So it's very, very awesome to hear that Hershey's actually got something where he's like, I want to do this forever, or this is like one of my favorite things to do, but it's a job now. Like, that's great. So congratulations, sir. We wish you the best. I would say this. Yeah. What I want to see in the marble sports community, I want to see more than one channel be of size over 100,000 subscribers. More than one valid channel. More than one relevant channel. There are certain channels that are big, but I don't consider them relevant. I don't consider Fubeca relevant. I don't consider MNH relevant. I don't consider toy racing relevant, or whatever the ones are that just kind of make these trendy one-off videos, these unorganized tournaments where you can't really follow them year to year because you don't feel like they have a year-to-year plan. They don't have like a consistent kind of retained theme year to year. You know, a tournament that returns every year with the same teams.
Right.
You don't see that with Fubeca. So I want another relevant channel. It's a wish. I want by the end of 2022, I want another relevant channel to boom. To be like big enough where like we can talk about it on this podcast, and the majority of the people listening to these podcasts are going to be like, yeah, oh yeah, that channel's great. I watch them every week. Right now, JMR is the only channel that we can do that with. The only other two channels I see as possible potential channels for that spot right now would be definitely the Racing Marble League, whose quality does even rival JMR at this point. I mean, commentary quality obviously is garbage. That stupid marble guy sucks. But but also MSPN, because MSPN, like Waf said, pushes boundaries. Like it marbles and cars, I don't think really anyone would have expected that. So yeah, like it's really something that like, and especially with it leaving, I want to see another channel be like that. And the Racing Marble League does do a good job pushing boundaries, but again, those are the two potential channels. They're small right now. MSPN, what is MSPN, like 9K subs, and then like Racing Marble League's got like 1.5.
something like that. But like, even if MSPN wasn't ending, I would say like I would still want to see more channels innovating like MSPN is, because like if more people doing that stuff would just result in more fun things for people to watch. Like if you guys remember, like it was almost a year ago, maybe even more, like someone was doing like marble baseball, and like there were like 3 different ideas, but one person like basically gave each marble like stats, like okay, based on the coordinate distance and moving, like they would like, oh, if they're this distance away, they can move this much and then throw this far, and like it was like an interesting idea. It was still rough, but like it's the first person, like, and that was really cool. But they only did 2 videos and they never even finished the first game, and they just have it. I think they deleted their channel too, so like it's gone. But like cool stuff like that, I want to see stuff like that. Like marbles in a car, never would have thought of that. Marbles on a Beyblade, never would have thought of that either. But we got them, and it was so cool. So, like, more people should do stuff like that. Heck, even, like, maybe even continue those ideas once MSPN's gone, because, like, I still want to see Marble 8s. I still do. Well, I mean... like, I'm not gonna lie.
Here's the thing, and we have a comment, of course, from the YouTube here saying... Well, not of course, we just do have a comment saying, the Lucky Titan channel, which is actually a decent channel. I'll say, as for the channels that I consider... a little bit lesser. I don't want to say it like that, but I don't know how else to say it. Like, the quality is of lower quality as compared to like a JMR or Racing Marble League. He's one of the better ones.
A better way to say it would be, it's more amateur in terms of quality.
Amateur, thank you. That's the word. Lucky Titan. Flair says it, Flair says about it from the chat. He says, Lucky Titan got neat little concepts if only he got the viewership. Here's the thing. I do consider him still pretty amateur, so... If Racing Marble League's not getting the viewership, it's hard for me to see Lucky Titan all of a sudden wake up one day and have 100,000 subs. But that's the kind of channels that could be the future of marble sports. Someone like the Lucky Titan. Because Lucky Titan's consistent. That guy advertises in the media of this server like once a week, once every 2 weeks with a video. It's always a video. And he does some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's the reason why he's almost always on the scroll text at the bottom. Is like he's always very consistent with his uploads.
Exactly, and that will turn into something if he keeps doing that. And obviously over time, hopefully, editing, camera quality maybe even be a boost for him. But he's been consistent for long enough that he still occupies a place in my mind as like some potential channel that could grow in the future. And we definitely need to continue to encourage channels like that to keep creating, even if we don't feel interested enough to like follow them in every video, because you know they're working on it. Obviously the kid's like young, he's like 14, so the commentary quality, you know, but like I mean if you commentary, literally one of the main parts of commentary is just being older. Like, I swear to God, like, you could have someone who says the same words but be 10 years younger, and it's just not the same. So just, you know,
a lot of things come with age, like like singing especially too, like when your voice is changing, it's not until your voice finally settles and matures that you generally really get your good singing voice.
Correct. But definitely high hopes for channels like Titan and the Racing Marble League. Again, the main thing I want to see is one other channel really become a prominent player in the marble sports community. The other thing I want to see is I want to see Marble ManiaX do well. I want to see JMR, because we don't know what the events are going to be. We only know one. We know two. We know this one, and the next one is, what's the next one? Forget. It's on the schedule.
Oh, the next event?
Yeah, it's on the schedule.
I don't remember what it is either.
It's we'll talk about this later. Oh, Domino Bowling, and then Extreme Funnels.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we actually know 4 of them, but like we don't know what they're gonna look like yet, and it could be anything. So I'm hoping, wishing that that actually turns out well, and like the events are unique and something that I can see coming back year to year, and. It's hard to really wish for more growth for JMR because they really just need to like continue to do what they're doing, continue to just take it a little bit up each year, like really just try to be more innovative on the tracks and Marbula 1, try to be a little more innovative on the events, but continue to be just better every year and try to advertise as best you can every year and not make dumb mistakes like have us partner and then have to take the video down because even though you agreed on something with a partner, then they're like, nah, we're copywriting. What? I don't know what that was. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. EG actually mentions like he recommends a channel called Makeshift. Like apparently a channel that really embraced the homemade idea of very creative tracks. I'll have to check that out later, Meg.
That's the guy that's the English voice commentary guy. I hate the commentary. Oh my God, I hate that commentary. It literally, I'm like insulted as someone who broadcasts about the way he does commentary. I think the actual content looks good. Like the camera quality is pretty good. The editing's actually not bad at all. But God, that commentary is awful. It's just too. It's like every sentence has the same pattern of intonations. You know, it's like, and it's just, oh God, I can't listen to it. Like I literally am, I can't listen to it. But I will say his content is good. So yes, he would be someone where I'd see his potential for the future, but he needs to get some other voice on that channel. Man, it's just bad. I think everything is the same if you mute. It's just boring if you mute. JMR doesn't work if you have no commentary.
That is true.
But I would say the only other thing I wish is that the Racing Marble League really brings the same passion and quality to their team tournament that he's brought to the RML, because the RML not only does have a lot of passion and creativity, but it's very established. He has wait list after wait list now of people who are submitting and paying to see their marbles on the screen. Hundreds of people have submitted and paid to see their marble and sent it to him to see it in the coming tryouts. That he has to have huge tryouts, and then he's actually considering in the future, actually per my idea on feeder leagues, to then branch out tryouts to other channels to accommodate all the people who are submitting. People are really liking that series. And it's been a big hit, and it's been run very well, and his creativity on the tracks is really good, and the quality improves every time. So I'm just hoping that my wish is also that the same thing applies to the new team tournament that's being planned, that he just brings the same intensity to that, so that it's a year round of enjoyable quality from that channel.
Yeah. Like someone, Lefty in the chat says, has marble racing peaked? I would say no. I think there is still a lot of potential, not just for it to grow. Like for instance, like if NASMARB could somehow continue on, it could continue to grow, not just in terms of its quality, but also in terms of its scope and stuff. Even JMR, it could still have the ability to grow bigger and bigger if it just with time. So I would say that, and heck, there's even plenty of ideas that haven't been done yet. So I would say that there is still plenty of room for marble racing and marble sports as a whole to grow and become even more popular and present in I guess the public conscience. It's just that it's going to take some time to really get there.
Lefty, here's how I'm going to respond to you. So, and I don't have all the details on this, but I did see this video a while ago when football first got started, right? It just started as someone's idea, a couple of teams, few teams just kind of playing each other, and then it began to branch out slowly. It took years, right? And there were points within that first few decades where football, which is one of the biggest things on this planet, literally almost imploded and fell flat and just ended. All leagues just ended flat out. Like, we're talking decade or two in, right? I mean, I saw a video on this. Again, I might be hazy on the details, but pretty... Hershey, you watching football right now? Actually, are you watching the Eagles? Because I'm an Eagles fan. I know their game's on right now. Wait, let me get a quick score update while we're here on the show.
Oh, my word.
I just have to know.
I guess while he's doing that, I could talk about video games is very similar as well. Like if you guys, I think it was the video game Crash.
It's actually
a
close game. I'm gonna leave this on with no volume so I can keep the score update on my phone. It's 14-16. Come on, Eagles. But basically, so it almost fell flat like many times, or at least a few. And we're talking like the biggest sport on the planet. So I mean, it's only common for new ideas, because remember, we're only 6 years in, to have struggle times, to possibly fall flat at some points, to not garner major attention at first. And so patience is key. And it's going to just come... The existence of the channel depends on literally JMR and the few other channels that are continuing to make content. It actually depends on... It depends... And Hershey says, why is this speech making me not want to cancel NASMARB? Well, dude, it depends on you! The future of marble sports is dependent on you. I hate to say it like this, but you canceling NASMARB literally may have a huge impact on if marble sports survive. I don't know how, but it may. We'll look back in 2 years and see. And so
maybe.
And the existence of Fubeca and MNH, as much as I hate their content because it has no direction, just the fact that they make videos that puts just marbles on the screen, that does have an effect. It will, in this very early stage of marble sports, have an effect on how it turns out. So the few channels who are going right now, and for the most part, those channels are either making enough money that they're interested in it or passionate a lot about this content, even though it's very hard to make. If they just keep going, then they will be the reason this succeeds or fails. So I just wanted to point out that it's just that we're in those early stages, and just because things seem to kind of like go up and down, that's part of it. Things, even the most popular things on the planet, have their up times, have their down times, and especially at their beginning. So just be patient. Continue to support channels that you deem like putting a lot of work in and you really enjoy. And you know, if you have the passion for it, make your own. It's hard though. But yeah, patience and just let things unfold and stay involved.
Yeah, a similar example would be like I looked up, it's the video game Crash of '83, where like basically companies were just pumping out a whole bunch of really cheap and crappy video games. And it resulted in like the industry like just tanking in terms of like its profits and stuff, which almost resulted in video games just ending as a whole. But nowadays, like video games is some of the most popular pieces of entertainment of all time. So it's like just furthering that point, like popular things like always, or even things just getting started, always have their rough patches. Like they gotta really get established. They'll go down for a bit, but if they persist, they can return and become better than they ever have.
Yeah, and again, like we're literally in the first decade of the whole human history where something like marbles is going to be able to hit the larger arena for entertainment. Because, marble sports, because it's, it's a lot more of what's going on around the actual action, because marbles aren't real athletes. There was no really point to it before YouTube. But now that YouTube exists, which kind of came around in the last decade, this is the first time it's even been possible for marble sports to be a thing. So we're literally like 10 years into marbles being on video, being even the thing that it could even be thought of. So I just patience and time, and you know what? Hey, 10, 20 years, dude, you have no idea. Marbles might be like on ESPN like crazy. Like you have no idea.
That's actually another good point to bring up. Is like even YouTube itself is relatively young still. It's still like, and the internet as we know it today is also not that old either. Like there are so many aspects. Like it's like marble racing is like the child of like two very new mediums that are so like it's not only does the internet like need to be more established. It's almost been solidly established at this point, but I think there's still some minor growth. But then you have YouTube has got to grow more, like and become more solid. Because it's just constantly changing and constantly messing things up with its new algorithm. And then, finally, marble sports has got to become established.
Yeah, all these are good points. So I think at this point we should move on to our next question here. I'm also trying to low key pull the Eagles game up so I can kind of see the corner of my eye. I don't even think they're featuring that one today though. They're not. Why are they featuring the Jets? No, because the Buccaneers are playing the Jets, and then the Patriots. Okay, that's kind of right. I guess Red Zone will cover it. I'm not subscribed to Red Zone. Oh, damn it! Eagles. They don't have the Eagles game.
Brendan, is this marble sports or is this human sports podcast?
Okay, I'm just saying. I guess I'll just have to keep the score up. Okay. Anyway, next question that we want to address. Not a question. Next topic we want to address is Marble ManiaX. We are a week late on that, of course, but, holidays and...
They got delayed too.
So, yeah. So, what are you going to do? So, let's address Marble ManiaX.
Yeah.
First event, I'm going to pull it up here on the Chrome, because, of course, so Buff's camera might go frozen there for a second, but what can you do?
Yeah, that's all right. I guess I'll start off talking about it. Like, just before we address the big issue of it, I think in terms of, like, the event itself, I love the presentation. I like the sound of them diving in is really impactful. I love that. It's really cool. And like this, like the idea of it just jumping off of it, and like in lore, it's like the tallest tower in the known marble universe. So at least in JMR's universe, it is the biggest and the greatest. So like it definitely adds to that whole extreme idea. And like while it is definitely a hazard to the event, like having the rafts there floating around is still kind of a fun little aesthetic.
I'm literally cutting into you. Sorry. Someone knocked on my door during the show, and I had to go kick them away from the show. What were you saying?
It's all right. I was just saying, like, towers, big tower, really cool. Pool, really cool. Rafts are pretty cool in terms of aesthetic.
I liked the rafts very much.
They definitely, like, they got close there for a bit, but they've been realized, okay, we need to push these to the side a little bit just so they don't hit them, which is, yeah, that would be good. One thing in terms of the performance of it is, like, I noticed this and some others noticed this, like, the marbles were almost always very consistently on top of each other, which makes me wonder if maybe the tower ramp at the top wasn't level, and maybe they were, like, they were all generally falling in the same spots, so it wasn't really spread out a whole lot, so because the ending result was extremely close, like, and a lot of ties, so it wasn't, like, so it wasn't really as, I guess, intense, and it's hard to see what's a standout performance here because
cutting
else
into you just to address exactly what you're saying.
Right they were there. You can see though they all hug the right there.
No, I know that. I'm going to slow this down. So here, I just want to show you guys something, and this is something I was thinking about. So to see this ramp, look, okay. So and you should look at the Chrome if you're not, because I'm analyzing the video right now. So if I play the video here, the marbles are released. They'll be released here in a second. I have it on the slow speed. So the marbles are set in 4 lanes to start. Right, marbles are released soon. It's on 0.25 speed, so this may take an hour. Marbles are look, they're released. Boom. They're all 4 splayed out. And look, now they start to turn over to the right about halfway down this ramp. See, now, look what they are. Look where they are towards the end of the ramp. The 3 are all hugging the right side. The one on the far side here really hugged the left. But the 3 are hugging the right here, and it all starts about halfway down the ramp. So I'm going to play this one more time so you can really see. Look, they're all kind of splayed nicely until halfway, and then they really start to bunch. So here's what I think. First of all, yes, they should really be very careful about the ramp gradient. Number 1. But what I think they should do is they should actually extend the lanes down about 2/3 of this ramp. They shouldn't have the lanes present all the way down the end of the ramp, because then that kind of makes it too consistent the other way, and then that would kind of make the runs probably too close to each other, and like not enough skill based on the marbles being able to have control. But they should have the lanes extend down to about 2/3 of the ramp so that the marbles don't have that much time to really bunch up, and then it doesn't get too predictable the other way, where there's so much time on the ramp they all kind of group together, and then they're all going to come off at different places, but there still is time for them to shift around. So that was a correction I saw there. Of course, then they actually drop down, and it is really good. This is a step up as far as visual enjoyment compared to what was the one in the Marble League? Synchronized diving? Diving, synchronized, yeah. So this is a big step up, because the marbles drop so far that you can see and the water's much shallower, that you can actually see the marble touch the ground and have that column of bubbles behind them, so you can like all at once see where the marble's hitting the ground and where it entered and how those are connected by the bubble lines. So I can actually visualize much easier just by that small change of height and shallowness what's actually going on and where the marbles are actually hitting. Like, even on this simple camera view, normal speed, before it does the replay, I can get a good sense of where the marbles are hitting. And then, of course, when they go to the replay, because we have the shallower water, there's not as much room for distortion. I'm trying to move in here. And look, you can actually see the plumes of like bubbles, not smoke, bubbles, and you can see where they're hitting, and you can literally see it. And you can see, and the lines stay there for a while. So it really was a step up visually compared to synchronized diving, and because there's a lot less time in the water. So I will say that made this event actually pretty fun to watch. I will give it, and we should rate this out of 10, Waff, so I'll throw one out there. I'll actually give this an 8 out of 10. I'll give this an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's same. Like that's a pretty solid answer. Like, it is very cool. The camera work is far better. They seem to be using I don't know what it is, but like, it doesn't seem as warped like underwater too. Like, it's like they learned a lot from diving, I gotta say.
For sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where this is going, and of course there's like base problems that I have regarding using teams from Marble League and whatever, but the event's good. The event is good, and it was fun, and I know the scores were very close. So again, they should add those lanes in or something just to kind of reduce that clumping or whatever. But it was a good way to start an extreme sports event. You're starting with something that has a lot of impact. You're like almost like marble skydiving in essence is what's going on here. You really have a tall set. That's like gotta be like 6 foot tall. That tower,
yeah,
like as tall as me, and I'm a tall motherfucker. Like, damn, like...
I mean, you are actually kind of tall, dude.
Yeah, like, and Waff knows, because, like, he was there when he didn't eat that cookie, but ate the one bite of the cookie.
Oh, you just shot it.
Dude, what was that? Oh, God, I'll never forget it. But
jeez.
It's a good start. And then in extreme funnels, I don't know what extreme funnels is going to bring, but maybe we're going to get some, like, obstacles in the funnels, maybe some big drops, maybe some fidget spinners.
Fidget spinners in a funnel? What the heck would that be, man?
I have no idea. But I think this could be good. One more thing to talk about. Let's check standings. Let's talk about standings, because we have some new teams to discuss here who have put themselves on the board very nicely. Of course, the Pinkies sucked in this event. Again, 8th place. So, I mean, and then they were just like bad too. They were substantially worse than everybody else. They had 56, while everyone else hovered around 60 at least, with a couple kind of rising to 63. The Pinkies,
yeah,
I don't know what it is, man, but the Pinkies, they're just, how do they even like get into Marble League every year? Like, I don't get it. They had a uniform change, they had a marble switch, and they're still just not good.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I forgot like, it was a 3-way tie for first. Like that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think I'm still going to reserve judgment on my opinions on some of these other teams because this has only been one event, and honestly, most of them were separated by a couple points. Strix's, Nox's Ivy 61, Constrictor 63. I mean, they were all pretty much the same, and there were some flaws in this event's execution. But I mean, it's good
was it
to
only
see.
tied for second? Like is that standing chart that I'm seeing on the screen not like the overall? Is that just for the second run?
No, this is final results. I think there's some. Oh no, yeah, because I think the Constrictors had the highest single event score, but the Blackjacks and the Purple Rockets actually equaled in both of their both of their runs. But the Constrictors had a higher single round score, so they actually got first, even though they had the same number of points. But I mean, they all did very good. Like all the new teams actually came out almost like they knew, how to approach events like this, which could be really good for the lore actually, because these new teams came out of nowhere. So if you write about them in the lore, you really could talk about how they maybe had some experience in extreme sports regarding marble stuff. So that could be some good lore bit right there. Good to see the Balls of Chaos not failing this event too. They didn't win, but they did 62, which was good, because if they came out and did bad, it would just have looked just not right.
It's the host curse.
Enough with the host curse. Damn it, Greg. Why did he have to... You know what? I should have annoyed him about that. God damn it. When I was at the meet and greet, I was too excited to see Greg that I didn't yell at him for the damn host curse thing. Whatever. I was gonna take out some Marble Sports analysis on him and be like, the inner community did not appreciate this. Oh
jeez.
Well, if anything else on Marble ManiaX?
Before we get into the big point about it, I didn't mention but the other aesthetic things, like the marbles at the benches and the tables with at the food trucks and stuff. Like aesthetically, I think this might be the best put together event they've ever done. Like it makes it feel very alive, like it's actually an actual true sporting event. Like, yeah, sure, like the stands with the hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands, it might be hundreds of thousands at this point, marbles, that's all great and all, but having something that's very more rural and normal, like people just do, or I guess marbles in this instance, doing things and living life, makes the world feel more like it's an actual universe that we're watching here,
Yeah. What they accomplish here, which is very nice, is that there's this time the marbles are not all in rigid stands. Some of them are, but some of them are not in rigid stands. Actually, you can see here on the Chrome, which I got up, you just have some marbles lounging at a picnic table, marbles on a bench, marbles having drinks, marbles just in a crowd, just kind of splayed out randomly almost. Kind of like it would look like if a crowd gathered, crowd gathered around for a good time. Plus the addition of the halftime show, I actually really appreciate, because it really adds to the fact that there's more to this world than just, jumping from high places and landing on targets in the water. So, which really adds to the whole kind of lore and backstory of it. Like, who are these DJs that we see? The black and white DJs. Who are all these marbles here? What do they do day to day? How did they even come to make this arena? I mean, it just adds life to it. And there's a taco truck there. There's just random chairs. It just seems like marbles came from all over and set up camp to watch this, as opposed to a formal event where marbles were kind of placed there, which adds a lot.
Yeah, Hershey brings a good point. Like Fubeca has done stuff like this before. It's been a while since I watched them, so I can't remember how much they did of it. But then he also mentions how diecast racing does a lot of that, and that is very true. 3D Bot Maker, they have a whole lot of it's so these other channels with diecast racing and stuff have also had these elements that make it feel more lived in, with like people standing near the tracks or at the food court or or buying merch at the stands and stuff. And like, so it's nice to see that new next level of effort coming into marble sports. And I gotta say, like, we were speculating that, like, you know, Dion is more the lead on this one, and if that's the case, he's been doing a good job so far. I will say that. Minus the one thing that we're gonna talk about now, I guess.
And it's a problem. It's a problem. It's just stupid, is the best way to put it. It really is stupid because it just looks irresponsible. I mean, you make a partnership, right, with a I guess artist, I don't know. And then you're like, all right, here's the point of the partnership. We're going to take your song and we're going to put it in our video so that we can have this little halftime show where the marbles roll around, whatever. All right, that's the literal point of this. There's no other point to this. We're just going to put the song in the video. Then they put the song in the video. Then even though there's a partnership, they get copyrighted, and I guess the partners are like, yeah, you can't do that. What? That doesn't even make sense. It's so stupid. How does it even happen? How do you even make a mistake of the sorts?
Well, here's the thing: is like they don't. There has never been, like, as far as I'm aware, any official statement about this, but I'm pretty sure this was just an auto claim by YouTube. Like that, like I've dealt with YouTube's copyright system a whole lot before, and like if you've seen the videos, like people who would, I think, like the Fat Rat, like a very well-known artist, like he got a copyright claim on a piece of music that he created himself.
That's funny.
So it's like YouTube's system is busted.
Yes,
it's always been
can't you appeal
way.
that?
So like
they should
right, but I think that's Dion's fault or Yella's for not trying to pursue it. Like they were worried that it would take too long, and so the video they didn't think they would win for some reason, or they didn't think they would be put back up in time. And I mean, admittedly, for most of the time, a lot of companies do not handle it very well. It can't, but like since they have a deal with it, I am almost 100% certain that they would take care of it in a very timely manner, and it would be put back up, no problem. And like heck. Like, it's on, like, Billy, which is basically the equivalent of Chinese YouTube. Like, this version of this event is still up there with that original song still in it. So if this was, like, a manual thing, they would have gone to all of their stuff and made them remove it from everything, not just YouTube.
Eagles up 17-16, by the way. It must have been oh my gosh. So that's good news. Quarter 4. Here's the thing. I don't like this because it shows just a lack of preparation. Because they should be, especially at this point, being on YouTube forever. This is like literally how these people like eat week to week because they use YouTube. Like if they didn't create, they wouldn't even have money. So they should know by now about how YouTube is with copyright stuff. They should be aware of the appeal process. They should be aware of how this stuff works. There should be no excuses, even if they're not used to even if they're not used to dealing with it.
Think about it this way, though. Like so far, they've either only used copyright-free music at the beginning or music that was composed for them.
Yeah, but they should be aware. They've had time to be aware. If they were doing something big like this, they would take the time to research this and understand what this might mean for the the YouTube copyright bot and everything. They should be aware of this. I don't think there's an excuse because they haven't done it before. They're a huge channel. They have millions of people that watch the stuff or subscribe. I mean, the viewership is down a little bit, but and they should be aware. They should be prepared for this. And then and it shows that they were so unprepared because obviously what happened is that the reason they switched instead of trying to appeal this and take their time is that they're just so panicked by the fact that this happened that they weren't able to be like, all right, let's take some time, appeal this. This will work out. This will be fine. We'll just handle this because we have a partnership that literally the point of it is to put this song in the goddamn video. And they just panicked and it was like, all right, we got to switch. We got to just switch it off because we don't have the time or the understanding of what the hell's going on. And that's just irresponsible. It's unprepared.
Then they re-uploaded the video and like they actually had Greg re-record the lines about the band that was performing for a new band, and there's a new piece of music there for the halftime show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they had to change it, but I'm saying that they should have been prepared to have to do any sort of appealing, so they didn't have to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess like this whole fiasco though did delay the rest of it by another week. Yeah, and I mean, like, hopefully it didn't like stall like production because if so, because like I imagine like they had to spend time editing that. But if it shouldn't be too complicated, so hopefully this means that they now had more time to get other things ready to go, so and make it more polished.
No, hopefully. hopefully, I mean, it's kind of, I just think it's kind of irresponsible, so, and like, they should be aware of this, and they shouldn't make a partnership without being like, all right, let's make sure we have backup plans to make sure this goes right, because now this is also going to look bad on them with the relationship to these people for the music. Just not good. With that being said, of course, the event again actually turned out pretty well. So a good start to Marble ManiaX, even though a bad start to Marble ManiaX. So fair enough. I mean, and that's pretty much all I want to say about it. It's really going to be a few events before I can really get a sense of really the thing as a whole. But so far, so good. So I guess we'll cover a little bit of NASMARB and wrap it up. What do you think, Quaff?
All right.
So NASMARB. So race 1 came out. We know that. I watched it today, actually. It was pretty good. It's pretty exciting. But I'm going to start with the negatives. Let's get them out of the way. Two big things I hate about NASMARB. Number 1 is the qualifiers. It's too long. I hated it. I hated the qualifiers. The qualifiers was 30 minutes long. 27 minutes if you want to get technical. Qualifiers. They race in the one lane, the left lane, and the right lane. Just put them in the middle lane and do it half the time. I just can't. God, it's annoying. I didn't watch 27 minutes of qualifiers. I just didn't do it because no one cares. I mean, that's a very mean way to say it. But I'm really serious about this. It's just too long.
Well, here's the thing, Brendan. Like Hershey mentioned in this chat last year for one of the qualifiers, he cut it in half, and people hated it.
Well, I mean, I guess opinions range either way. I just think that since it's a new season, it would be a good time to set a new precedent and just come out and be like, listen, we're gonna wrap this 10 minutes, and if that means showing the left and the right lane of each car at the same time, wait 1 second.
Well, while we're waiting for Brendan, I don't know, what should we do? I think Brendan is definitely in the minority on this one, but like you can tell from the viewership that qualifiers has less views, but like since it's optional, you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. You can just skip it. It's not like you're forced to watch it. So, I'm probably going to say this again once Brendan gets back, but you know what? That's just how it is. That's just how it goes sometimes. We can see we can get some footage here. We can see Spitzer losing a race here. Yeah, Spitzer didn't have a very good start for that race, but it's okay. We'll see how Spitzer does in race 2. This is all going to be restated again.
Sorry, I'm here. I was bothered
Actually,
again
we could just write on
during the show about literally nothing. I swear to you, if I told you the topic that I was bothered about, you would be like, why couldn't that not wait 5, 10, 20 minutes? Like, it's just ridiculous. It is what it is.
Who knows?
With that being said, what were we talking about?
I was just saying that Lane's like yeah, the qualifiers aren't like. Based on the chat, it seems that you're mostly in the minority here, but you can also tell just from the viewer counts, qualifiers always has a lower counts than the actual race.
It's just,
but the qualifiers is also optional. It's optional. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to.
I don't like how that video is 27 minutes. I just will never like it. I'll never appreciate it. I think that it's just way too long. You could shorten it in half by putting the 2 runs side by side at the same time. It would get the same thing done in half the time. You could do 1 run. You could do literally anything else. You could send them quicker. I don't know. It's just like because the qualifiers really doesn't mean anything except for the 1 point for getting pole, and like the seeding kind of means something, but like it doesn't mean.
But also, two of the racers don't get to qualify.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It just seems like a lot of video for a very unimportant result. When you have the same length video for the actual competition.
Well. The other thing is like there's like the tension if you do, like okay, you see how their first run they didn't do so good, and you see how they're all ranked here. It's like okay, well now they have another chance to do it. Whereas if you see both runs going simultaneously, there's not really as much. There's no tension for that second run. It's like because like you don't know how everyone else has performed, but if you do know how everyone else has performed, then like you can watch that second run and like it's like very tense. It's like Oh man. Oh heck, even this qualifier one, Spitzer was on the edge of not making it, but then Nugget just barely managed, failed on their second run, and that barely allowed Spitzer to race in race one. That was tense because we had those two separate sets of runs going, not simultaneously.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh about the qualifiers, but I just don't. I just too long. Just no. Okay. I mean, if maybe other people do watch 27 minutes of qualifiers, maybe they do, and they just love it. But I watch about 4 minutes tops. I'm just saying. Whatever. Okay. One thing I hate about it. Second thing I don't like about NASMARB. And this became very evident in the final match between Quillo and Piper. Also, fuck that, because it's a very funny story. I just found it really funny that Piper versus my car, because I had this whole drama with this girl named Piper that ended very badly at the beginning of this semester of college. It was bad. It was just shitty. It was really bad. So just that it's just funny how it worked out. Just that name like literally stresses me out hearing it because of how mentally tough that situation was for me. But besides the point, that's not the reason I hate NASMARB. That was just an excess thing. Reason I don't like. So in that race, you saw a situation where you had two closely matched cars. Like those were similar speeds. And you saw how the inside lane was the advantage every time, because every time in that race, the inside line won. Every time. And very obviously in the way that they won. Every time a car was on the inside line, they got out about a length ahead coming out of the gate, and they stayed ahead the whole time because they're both about the same speed. So that bothered me because it's like, I mean, maybe it's just in track design, or maybe it's just something needs to be reworked. But obviously in that case, if you had switched who started on the inside line, if Quillo started on the inside line, that means he would have gotten 3 races on the inside and 2 on the outside. It probably would have been a different result. No, Hershey, no. Look at the races. All 5 races were literally identical, except for the one where Quillo just decked Piper, which was just a big one for me. I loved that race. Oh my God. Put her in the grave. But no. Do not tell me Piper's a higher seed. I will hurt myself on camera.
Gosh.
Just no. They were identical races, the other 4. And it was whoever was the inside line was faster. I swear to God. Race the 2 cars next to each other on a straight track. I did watch. I know she was higher, but that's not the point. It was unfair. That was an unfair race.
I will.
It did, because it's different where you start. And it's not okay. And if you do an odd number of races, then you're going to have cars starting more times on one side than the other, and that will affect the races. So I don't think that's okay. I actually don't even need to watch the qualifying though she was higher, because you put the seating numbers next to all the names in the scorecard.
I will say, when doing the alternate, one win, it's tiebreaker now. I didn't see like it just seemed that they just alternated the lane again. When I feel like unless it was done without telling the viewer, the lane, whoever gets the advantage lane should have been the one who had the higher lap time for that run. Like kind of like how 3D Bot Maker, if there's a tie for best 2 out of 3, then whoever had the higher run that for those two races gets to have the inside lane advantage, because that's how because there is an advantage. It's a shorter distance. That's just how racing works. So to balance it out, you need to alternate based on and find a fair way to do it.
I don't know. I mean, if you want to I would be okay with fastest time beforehand to get the lane on the 2 out of 2 or whatever. But I just think that was unfair, because I think it's very obviously harder to race from the outside line and the inside line, especially on this track where you only had rightward turns. Every turn would have been every turn was right. So the track was flawed, I guess is the way to say it, because you only had rightward turns, which means that if you start on the inside line, you have an advantage. Okay? So I mean that was annoying, and I noticed it. Of course, I wouldn't have really noticed it, if Quillo won the race. I probably wouldn't have pointed it out. But it doesn't mean it's not true. It doesn't mean I'm making this personal. It doesn't mean that's not a true statement, what I'm saying about it being a little bit unfair towards the inside lane. It's just that I happened to notice it because my particular car lost to another particular car. Okay, but it's true.
Wrong. Like, but that's how it's been. Like, that's how it is with all diecast racing. Just like the inside, it's like even with like racing on a track. Like track racing. If you notice, like the starting points, they don't all start side by side. They're like spread out, kind of like one's a bit further up, one's further back. That's because the inside lane of the track is a shorter distance.
They're not doing that in NASMARB. Nor did they design the track to have some left and right turns to balance that out. They should have had a balance. They should have a balanced turn where it should turn like a different way at one point, like the other way, to give something for the outside lane. Or they should have stagger started them. I don't know. So those are the two things that bothered me. So I started negative. So sorry, Hershey. But otherwise, NASMARB is amazing. And I mean, come on. I mean, it's the most creative thing on YouTube, Marble Sports wise right now. So, it really was exciting to watch. I really loved all just the random, not random, just the impacts between cars. Sometimes cars would just be left in the dust, just like strayed halfway down the track. Just brutal. And then there's actually really close finishes a couple times because there actually is more unpredictable acceleration because you have the marble plus the car wheels. So it was great. It was truly, truly great. What car outside of your own has the best design? Are you talking to me? Because like mine won the best design last year. That was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, that is true. It did win the best design.
But so Hershey, I do want to make clear that though I reserve those two negatives, it's in a truly amazing series that like I look forward to. Like I'm very excited watching it. Even though I didn't watch any of the qualifiers, I watched all 30 minutes of race 1 because it was truly just very exciting. Every race, it was just so unpredictable and close, and I don't know. You can't get much better than that. I think Le Mans Drizel is one of my favorites. As far as car bodies, I mean, you can't go wrong with Le Mans Drizel. You just can't. How do you go wrong with it? I like Neptune. I like the bright white. It's just good. I don't like any of the gold cars at all.
Aww.
I think they look weird.
I like Sal.
And then I like Bloodstorm. Bloodstorm's nice. And I mean, there's that one Spitzer, but that one was crappy this race. That's yours, Wow.
Wait,
right?
you mean the racing or the design?
I do like the design. I love the little waff marble on it. It makes me happy.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, the designs are all just incredible. So, just wanted to make that clear. It's a great race, but of course, I got to judge because, this is the podcast. Anything else you want to say, Waff, regarding the NASMARB?
Yes, some of my favorite parts about it was like some of those last races with Neptune. Like some of the overtakes were really great. Neptune really dominated quite a bit, and like you're gonna have to forgive me, Hershey, but like Neptune was only one, right? I'm sorry, my brain, dude.
I think Neptune did win, and Neptune was pushed across twice at the end. Everyone was locked up in the finals. I don't know finals of the three cars. Just so much collision and so much cars, so many. The cars were similar speed, so they really were vying for that one spot. They were really all right there trying to get ahead, and then they would just get turned in on each other. And then also one of the biggest problems you'd see would be in the 360 turn, which is actually a 270, but just saying. In the 270 turn, inside line cars would make mistakes when they tried to cut off during the turn, put their hood up towards the outside line, and then they would get turned around there. They'd be going backwards. They would get kind of, because of the 90 at the end. Fair enough. It's a little unconnected, but fair. They get locked. They get locked up there, and then sometimes they would work out, but most of the times no, and they would actually hurt themselves because they would be in front because of the inside line, and then hurt themselves trying to go for an early block. So it just became very interesting to see what kind of decisions cars would make about what they wanted to do, because sometimes you kind of needed to go for a block because of who you were racing. So I don't know, just very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, Lamone Drizel also has consistently been a very great racer, so it's nice to see that that consistency in lore, like just a really good driver. But Piper, like since you brought her up earlier, like is been a surprising rookie like racer. Like she's been doing a really good job. Like if you haven't seen the qualifiers for race 2, I believe. So, but like she's also qualified pretty decently so far. I think she's 7th seed. So like she is like very interesting to me. I'm very curious to see how this rookie does because I think nearly everyone else, if not everyone else here, is all veterans, whereas she is like the only rookie. So it's gonna be interesting to see how she stacks up for this entire season.
Yeah, she's starting well. Let's see how Quillo does in season 2 qualifying.
Yeah, let's just see. There is one other thing that I think it was during one of the races. The track right before the 270 turn actually snapped off, and it did like for one of the runs, and it actually kind of unbalanced one of the racers. But that run wasn't redone. I feel like that should have been redone.
But what do you mean?
Just because like that was a track failure.
What do you mean?
So it was during one of Piper's runs. Basically, right going into the 270 turn, the connection between that section and the starting gate came undone right as the car was going over it, and it unbalanced them and kind of sent them spinning a little.
Where's Quillo? Oh, here's Quillo. All right, let's see how he does. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't even notice that, so I can't really speak to it.
It was a blink and you miss it moment, but like I caught it. I think, was it against Spitzer? It might have been. It was against Quillo.
All right, here we go, Quillo. Are we fast? Oh, we didn't look fast there. Oh, 3-4. That's not terrible. Actually, we got took 3rd there. Not bad. Let's see how we do coming down the second run.
But yeah, it was the run that she flipped over. Like the track popped out, it made her flip over. I think that was one of the races that Quillo won against her, clearly, because she was upside down.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. Oh yeah, the one. Yeah, but no, I thought Quillo just was badass there. Just
unfortunately not.
That just looks like some great racing. Oh, wait, where's Quillo here? Quillo. Oh, he dropped the 3.62. He does qualify though, so that's nice.
He does.
Quillo will very rarely not qualify. This will be a tough one. Pulling from 13. Quillo does have trouble on the light speed though, because Quillo does better when there's a lot of turning. I feel like there's always more acceleration for him there, so it's gonna be tough to see them. No, not a big Piper person, man. I liked her in the summer though. All right. Anyways, that should do it for the show. We actually kind of kept it to that hour. Now we're over the hour like usual. But yeah, again, I'm excited for this year Marble Sports new series in the works, but like just getting going all the way here. And I'm just really excited for the Racing Marble League stuff. It's just a lot going on coming up. So that will be it for the show. Waff, if you know anything else, you can take us out.
No, I got nothing else, so I'll just say...
Also, Eagles up 20-16.
Oh my gosh. Roll on, Marble Sports fans, to a better new year.